Aloha, everyone. Welcome to Tuesday Training with Onyx and Sheila. It is April 12th, almost halfway through April since it only has 30 days in it, right? It is a beautiful day on this planet to be alive, and I just want to say I believe we're good afternoon down to Florida to Miss Onyx. Welcome, Onyx. How are you doing this morning, beautiful lady? You got your mute on, babe. And now I lost her. Okay. Well, I'm sure Onyx will be coming back in just a moment. Welcome, welcome, everyone. I'm going to just.
Got her back.
Got her back?
Yep.
Get her back. That's one of my favorite lines from the movie Congo. Get her back. Bring her on. Where's my girl?
Can you see me?
Now we can.
You hear me? Okay.
Welcome.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Sorry, it dropped me just at that very moment, but it's all good. Obviously the sun just came out. Like when we woke up this morning, it was windy, and there was no sun. I didn't see a sunrise. It was just clouded over, but now the sun just decided to come out, which is beautiful. We still have a little bit of wind, but it's warm here. It's definitely warm. But I was talking to Dr. Joan yesterday, and she was telling me in Arizona that there's tons and tons and tons of wind. They've had as much wind as we've had, which is like, it's been really windy winter, which is cool, just different. So welcome everyone, welcome. We have just completed an incredible week's promotion. I think my estimate of between 150 and 175 is incorrect. I think it's going to be over 175 sleeves that are going to go out this week for everybody who participated in the promotion, which is fantastic. It is my pleasure, my honor to be part of that for all of you. And what I would encourage you is that if you took advantage of this, take that free sleeve when it arrives to you. I'm going to start shipping tomorrow, but when it arrives to you, use it to gift it forward, use it to pay it forward, and use it to help you grow your business. So that would be my recommendation. It's not a requirement, but that would definitely be my recommendation for you on making the most out of that promotion. I'm going to go inside because I can't even see the screen now. I'll come back out if the sun shifts a little bit. Anyway, so that promotion, there's a second part of that promotion that goes on until the 24th. So that second part of the promotion aligns with corporate's promotion. Is that much better?
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, good. So the second part of that promotion aligns with corporate's promotion for the free ice wave. So remember, the free ice wave is continuing with any purchase over $200. And Bonnie asked me yesterday, and she got confirmation. I got confirmation as well. That includes if they are on a $200 a month auto ship, they will receive the free sleeve of Ice Wave. So you all can be utilizing this to grow business. I know you had a little extra token that you could offer. Many people use this promotion for a new gold in the business, which is fantastic, but it doesn't mean that you've now tried it. You've, put on that pairs of shoes, you did that dance to try it with, okay, I have an extra sleeve. Along with this great promotion, I also have this extra sleeve. So you still have an extra sleeve. You don't have two extra sleeves, but you have one extra sleeve. So my recommendation is you continue to build. Now, my promotion continues for anybody who makes the rank for the first time of director. So if you reach the rank for the first time of director, be sure to still, same thing. You're going to send me the thing that shows that you've reached the rank for the first time, and you're going to type me your full name and address, and then I will still send you a free sleeve. So you've got till I think it's the 24th of April. We can look on that promotion thing to see it. I'm going to remind everyone, if you think even this much that you are coming to convention, please grab yourself a hotel room. I think it's either 24 or 48 hours before to cancel, but I want to be sure that you are in the hotel if you decide that you want to come. So grab the hotel room now, because I know that the rooms have been getting short. I don't normally grab a room this far out, but just multiple people were like, we can't get rooms. So I know that the rooms are getting short. We also have the Damien thing coming up. Just so you know, I put on this weekend that Damien was doing a free webinar. It was supposed to be Sunday at 2:00 on Earth's breath. Yeah. Damien just moved to Africa. So Spirit told him to move to Africa to get closer to nature. And he tells me, he's like, yeah, I'm buying a house in Africa. And I'm like, what? And I like, have you been to Africa? He's like, no. And I said, okay, where are you going? He said, to an island. I said, okay, in what country? He said, in Kenya. I said, is this near the Somali border? I have no idea, Onyx. I said, okay. He's like, the island's called Lamu. And I said, okay. I said, I think I've been there. He said, you have? I said, is it a donkey sanctuary? He said, yes, it's a donkey sanctuary. I said, I have been there. So I talked to him the other day because he's now there. He's been rehabbing his place, got 2/3 of it rehabbed, I guess, before he even got there. And he said it's really beautiful there because people are very close to nature. He said, so everybody wakes up a little bit before sunrise and they all go for a swim in the bay before this. I don't know if it's before the sun comes up. I'm not clear, but they're living by a rhythm of life that so many of us have lost in this new modern age that we have been living with. So I think it's really, really cool. But Sunday's event that was free did not happen. It is happening today. So it's in 2 hours. It is the exact same link. I have a Zoom call with Bart's team, with SPD Bart's team. So I won't be on it live, I don't think, unless the call finishes early. But you can get on it live. If you want to get on live, it's free, no problem. The link will become a recording after it, and the recordings are just as powerful. So you can jump on and do the recording. If you can't get on live, I will be doing the recording. Next thing is the link. I don't know if you can put that up for our group and what okay, perfect. So what I negotiated for our group was I spoke to Damien about how he could help our group reach their full potential financially. And we talked, and some of this will be a repeat, so forgive me if you've already heard me say it, but there'll be new people on this week that weren't on last week, etc. So we spoke about, do we want to talk about raising ranks? Do we want to talk about, max out the comp plan at $25,000 a week? What do we want to do? And so what we decided, and what I told him is that most people are earning between $100 a week and $5,000 a week. And he looked at me and he's like, oh, we can do a lot about that. That should be much, much higher. And I said, fantastic. So he then put together the 3 different hours. Each one is a 1 hour live with Damien. Maybe Sheila, you can read. I don't remember. I think one of them is self-confidence.
Yes. Sandy put it up in the top for me in the
Thank you,
training.
Sandy.
It's self-confidence will be Monday, April 18th. Creativity will be Thursday, May 5th. And expansion is Thursday, May 26th. And it's all at the exact time we're on right now. So it'll be just like a Tuesday training time call for you. That's when it'll be happening, but Mondays and Thursdays.
Correct. Now, I negotiated a very cheap price, I think, as you guys see. It was, I got it for 99 euros for all 3, and he pays 25% tax on anything that he gets. I don't make any money. And I did this. I was able to negotiate that because I told him I thought we would get between 200 and 300 people who would say yes. So if you think that you're going to do it, please sign up, because this is what's going to allow me to be able to negotiate a reasonable price again in the future for all of us. I have found his work has been life-changing for me. But the really interesting thing is I've had not one, but both of my daughters do sessions with him. And I just finished 10 days with my girls, and they are completely different girls. So it's really been amazing, really been amazing. And I think that the most powerful thing for me with Damien's work is I feel more embodied. I think as a light worker, I have spent so much time either in my head or completely outside of my body. Learning to get out of my head and get back into my body has been very, very soothing, successful, and it brings this state of calm. And I've been electrified my whole life. So now I'm like, isn't this great? At the end of the night, I'm like, I think I'll have a cup of tea. And, Chris will look at me, tea? Yes, I'm having tea tonight. And I'll have a cup of tea and just be in my calm space. So for me, it's been very powerful. So I'm blessed, feel very blessed that he was willing to do this at such a reasonable price for all of us. So that's enough about that.
And Onyx, in US dollars, it's 111 I mean, that's a pretty potent number. It's 111. And there was a question in the chat. It is, I dropped it again in Telegram. There's at least two places where the link to sign up. And yes, a Zoom user, it is the link that says Damien's site up above. That's the link that you sign up at. Okay.
Perfect. Okay, so that I think is it with the announcements. So those of you who have not reached the rank of director yet, focus on it. You've got a couple of weeks to get there. And everybody who participated in this promotion, use your sleeves to gift. Get out there and build your business gifting with these sleeves. Pay it forward. As Amy always says, it's a crime not to share this product. So I encourage you to get out there and to share this product. All right, so I thought today we would open up for questions. And, you know, I often have guests. I actually asked Marcy if she can come on next week, because I think sometimes she comes on the Tuesday calls now, though we haven't seen her, because I think she comes on as a Zoom user or something, but I think she's been on a couple of times. Maybe she's on right now, we just don't know it. But I asked Marcy if she would come on. Would love to feature her next week, so we'll see if we can. But this week I thought we would circle around and just have Sheila and myself on. I also wanted to say a little bit about international, because there's been a couple of questions that have come in about it. Thailand just recently opened up, and I wanted to tell you, while I don't know the plan yet, the next market to open will be Korea. And I do know the Korean market. I had 40,000 people in my organization in my previous lifetime in Korea. I've been to Korea probably 5 times. It's an amazing market. It's an amazing place to build. So my guess is they'll probably shoot for the third quarter. I haven't confirmed it yet, but my guess is it'll be third quarter this year, at third or fourth quarter, whatever it's going to be. It will be the next market. So those of you that have Koreans in your neighborhoods or know Koreans, this is a wonderful time to start sponsoring them. You can't open the Korean market yet, but if you have people around you, and I don't know what the numbers are, how many Koreans actually live in the United States, but I'm sure there's a great deal. When Korea is a powerhouse in network marketing, you know, in the overall business center, like Brazil is, like the United States is, like Germany is, and Russia. You know, there's a couple of countries that tend to do $15-18 billion annually in sales just in network marketing. Korea is one of those markets. So that's the next market that's going to be opened. I don't know yet. I don't have any idea yet on the projected timelines on when that's going to be, but I wanted to share that with you all. I have long believed and continue to believe, don't waste any time, you know, trying to find people in Thailand to build a business. If you can find some Thai people that are here, great. But generally speaking, you're much better off to find people locally that can then take you into other international markets than you are to try and find international markets to then build your business. I like building internationally. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just, it's 100 times easier, and you will be far more successful by focusing on the people. When you look to the left, you see people. When you look to the right, you see people. It's a much easier way to build business.
Love it.
All right. So I have not looked at the chat, but I can if you want, or Sheila, you can just read out questions or however you want to organize this to support everyone.
The first person is Bob. He has his hand up.
Okay.
I do. Bob. Hello. How are you? Sheila, thank you for everything you do here, by the way, because people don't understand what time you have to get up to do this. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. And that's a hell of a compliment. When I say you're crazy.
She always looks so good, right? She always looks good. I couldn't get up at that time she gets up and look as good as she looks.
I know. I don't know how she does it, but thank you. So,
Bob, you just need to get your curling iron out.
He's got hair now. He's gonna use a curling iron.
I'm actually looking for curling irons again, so that's good. So my question to Onyx is this, and she and I spoke this morning, but I had a question for her. I just admire who she is, and if you all don't know, this is one of the brightest, most intuitive people I've ever met in my entire life. I make a habit of not calling women for advice. So, but I call Onyx, and she actually, I'd rather call a woman any day than a man, because a man usually let that damn ego get in the way, and Onyx doesn't have that. So I asked her a question. The question is this: how did you become as smart, as knowledgeable, as intuitive as you are? Because I wondered if her mom and dad might have been extremely intelligent, if that was a gift through birth, or what transformed in your lifetime to make you who you are. Because I strive to be who you are. It ain't gonna happen, but I would really try to do that. So,
well, your hair is growing, so there's hope, Bob.
it is. It's. I think we have the same color too. So, but
exactly. So it's an interesting question, because I'm dyslexic, and I think dyslexics are very resourceful. And I did get a 4-year college degree, and I busted my bum to get through high school and then to get through college. And literally on my 2nd grade report card, they put Onyx reads from right to left and left to right out loud. And they didn't know what to do with this. My mother didn't know what to do with this. And so I had to figure out at college, if I'm going to sit down and they want you to read this chapter of the book and then take that test, I'm probably not going to do well. So how do I get the information that's in that chapter of the book into my brain, so that when I have to sit down and take the test, I can actually take the test and pass, so that I can get a college degree? And so I think I'm very resourceful in that way. In terms of network marketing and learning people and that sort of thing, I think that people who are dyslexics, they tend to have a superpower. And I believe that my superpower in dyslexia is around people and around business. And so I'm really good with people. I really like people like you, Bob. I think you're very intuitive on who you're sitting in front of, who you're talking with, etc. I genuinely like people. I genuinely believe in people, and I can see what's possible for people. And then in business, my brain just Rubik's cubes businesses like nobody I've ever seen. I met Holton Buggs one time, not more than once actually, who is, one of the biggest network marketers. It used to be, he's probably the first guy that ever made $1 million a month in the compensation plan. And when I met him, I was like scratching my head. He's dyslexic, and his dyslexia, as far as I could tell, does numbers. So he would be able to break apart a compensation plan and say, okay, Onyx, if you did this and you did this and you did this, you're going to create blah, 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 blah. And that's the way his brain works. I never met Steve Jobs, but I always said to Holton, if I had met Steve Jobs, I'm certain he would have been exactly like Holton Buggs, just one of those brains that really works that way. I have he's actually an MLM lawyer. His name is Kevin Thompson. I met him for the first time when I spoke on stage many years ago in Amsterdam. And Kevin said to me, Onyx, the thing about you? And I said, no, what, Kevin? And he said, you have a skill I've never seen. And I said, what's that? And he said, you can see around corners. And I was like, wow, that's a really interesting compliment. And I think it's true. There's something about, like everybody, we all have a superpower. We're all good at something different. And my skill allows me to see what's coming if we go this way versus if we go this way versus if we go this way. And so between the skill of being able to see it and then being able to understand people, it means I'm able to help move things in a way that's for the highest and greatest good of everyone. And that's always my goal. So that was a long answer, but yeah, hopefully that gives you a little more insight, like last week's call when you guys wanted to know where my name came from.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, no, that does. But the neat thing is, I've never met anyone who understands business. Seeing around a corner is, I think, the greatest compliment. And when you said it, I had to think about it. That's amazing, because you understand business, you understand network marketing, you understand people. It's the triumvirate that makes you who you are. And I'm amazed. And thank you for everything you do.
Oh, thank you. I'm amazed at each one of you. And I speak constantly. Corporate saw our huge growth this week. And, Lori sent me a note and I said, yes. She's like, we need to partner with you. I said, that would be smart. And it's always a pleasure for me because we are moving together. We're moving as a team. This is not about me, and this is not about Bob. This is not about Amy or Peter or Marcy or Beamy or any of the rest of the hundreds of great leaders that are here and the more that continue to come. It's about all of us together. And so I feel great calm and I feel great peace because I know that we heal together and I know that we grow together and I know that we move together. And so when one of us is generous, all of us is generous. When one of us upgrades, all of us upgrade. When one of us heal, all of us heal. We help transmute each other's fears. We help transmute each other's joys and our love and our everything. We go together. So for me, it's such a privilege to be part of this organization. It's an amazing group of people. I'm honored to be with each and every one of you, truly.
Beautiful. Great question, Bob. There's a couple questions in the chat. One, just scroll up for, I don't remember who, maybe Claire put it in. The link for Damien today is over there in the chat. And then there was a question for you, Onyx, and then we're going to go to Peter because I know Peter has a question, or at least I think I saw him raise his hand. The question is, who inspires you?
Wow. So, where'd my camera go? Sorry, I think my camera went away.
That's okay.
So that's a real interesting question, and it's not a stagnant question. So when I was 20, Louise Hay inspired me, and I read her book. You can heal your life. Is that what it's called?
Yep.
And back then, I bought her cassette that played the songs that she had wrote to reprogram your subconscious mind. And I played those. I can't even tell you how many times I played them over and over and over and over and over. And so I believe that there are many wonderful people walking on this planet. I think there are many people that are able to tap into the collective and pull things down and get downloads, which is one of the things I think you all have heard me. I think David is one of the people that is doing that, that's pulling in downloads. I think there's lots of people that are doing it. I think Damien's doing it. I think he's in there pulling down downloads. I think Masajati is doing it. He's pulling down downloads and he's able to share frequencies. They have skills and powers different than I do. But remember, it's all of us together. We can't all be good at everything. We have to all be good at something different. We come together. We're together. We're so powerful. So I don't think there's like one person that inspires me. I think it's a multitude of people that have shifted over the years. There was a time that I was very big into Anthony Robbins but I've never believed that only one person has the answer. I've always believed that I can take a nugget from here and a nugget from here and a nugget from here, and all of that can become what works for me. But I talked to a friend of mine the other day. It was fascinating. He's the CEO of another MLM company. And he said to me, I don't normally listen to any podcasts and watch any TV because I don't want anybody else's data to come in. I want to only have my basically connection to God or to higher source to be feeding the direction that I'm supposed to go. And I was like, wow, Ron, that's a really interesting way to think about it. I've never heard anybody go at it in that fashion. I mean, I don't watch any TV. That's not relevant to me, but I do listen to podcasts and I do read books and I'm constantly absorbing information, but that's all it is information. Until you convert the information into something that's useful, as opposed to me being able to regurgitate, H2O is where you're going to get water. That's irrelevant. That's just memorization. That's not wisdom. And so how do you take the information and create it into wisdom? And I think I'm constantly consuming information, putting it inside, mumble jumbling it all together and figuring out what works for me. And part of the problem I think we're all experiencing right now is that the veil is so thin, and we are starting to see that we were, all of us, and my hand is raised too, we were all programmed. And, sometimes I sit back and I'm like, they programmed me on that too. How did they do that? And so I have to go back and I find myself questioning everything. Why do I eat this way? Why do I, think this way about consuming information? Why do I, blah, 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 blah. Where did this idea come from? Was this programmed, or is this really from me and from my source? Because my channel is what matters, just like your channel to God is what matters for each one of you. And so it's been a very interesting time to be alive. Very interesting.
True that. Two things. One, I got to meet Louise Hay in 2007, and we actually have the same birthday. And,
wow, that's so cool.
It was wonderful to hug her and sit and talk with her for a few minutes.
And the same last name.
And the same last name. And we had an Aunt Louise Hay. So that was all kind of freaky coincidence, right? Samsung SMG9, I'm not sure who that is, but he wrote Fractal Frequencies from a Diamond, which is the collective human race. And that is something I have always said, is that every single one of us is the face of a diamond. So thank you, Samsung, for putting that in the chat. I really like that. Lots of people honoring you, Onyx, over here in the chat today. And social engineering. That's exactly what has been going on. So we are going to go over.
But we're waking up. We're waking up. And, we're waking up in our own time. And I love what Damien says, which is you've got to give space to everyone, including the people that are driving you crazy. And sometimes that's your sister. And sometimes that's your mother, because I got those problems. And if I have them, some of you guys have them, because it's in the collective. And we have to give space to them, because the reality is we're all waking up based on our own preferences, based on our own programmings, based on our own things that went on. And so to me, it's about relaxing and allowing, and knowing that everyone, no matter what, we're all doing the very best that we can at this particular moment. And tomorrow, it might be better. It might be different, because each day we wake up and we are different human beings. We are different. So, yeah.
Beautiful. Well said. Okay, Peter, did you want to ask or throw something in here, honey?
Back then, Onyx, when you were building Mana V, were you this spiritual?
What a great question, Peter. So my answer would be no. I was very, when I was building Mana V, I was very focused. I was very dedicated. I built a community. It was a very challenging environment for me, because I was a single mom and I was an anomaly. Nobody could understand what was going on. And many of the big leaders at Mana V were from Amway. And I had never done network marketing. And what I hear is that in Amway, they never let the women into the boardroom. So they were not female forward, and they were not female focused, and they didn't understand me. So I had to learn how to, at Mana V, when I built the juice company, I had to learn how to be an oak tree in a pot of soil, because the soil, the overall soil, was toxic. And that's because it was so politically entrenched in the juice company. And so here, what I've done as best I can is to be the pot of soil for all of you, so that nobody has to get involved in any of the politics. I can keep all of that away from everyone, and we can do what we're good at, which is just build. And when I sold my business, it was November of 2012. And like so many people, I had been working 7 days a week. I was traveling around the world 4 and 5 times a year. My shortest trip was 5 days. My longest trip was 17 days. My phone was going all day and all night, because, I had business in India and Korea and America and Australia and Mexico and Europe. And, so I had leaders everywhere, literally everywhere. So when I sold, my phone went quiet, and I sat on my yacht and I was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do with myself? And so it took me a few weeks just to find Onyx again, because I wasn't answering, everybody's messages and that sort of stuff. And then, like so many people, I think when you have a space in your life, you have the chance to actually spend a minute and go inward. And I think that's when November of 12 is when I began my journey to spirituality. You know, I was raised as a Christian in the Christian church, which is fantastic, and I have no problems with that. When I started to build internationally, my mind was really opened. You know, when you go to India and you see literally millions of people, and they're, you know, 1/3 is Christian and 1/3 is Hindu and 1/3 is Buddhist, and, you know, 1/3 is Sikh. And I know that's the wrong number of thirds, and they all get along. And I'm sort of scratching my head. And then I go to Malaysia and it's mostly Muslims, and the Muslims are getting along with the Christians. And I'm like, there's something more. There's something more. So that's why I said, okay, I gotta find this. What is this going to look like for me? And so, like so many things in my life, there's not a book. And so I'm living outside of the boundary of what a book might say, trying to figure out what does Onyx's compass say? And that was one thing I always taught my girls when they were little. I was like, you have a compass, it's your heart. And only your heart knows what to do and when to do it. And so you've got to learn to listen to the compass, your heart, because your heart is different than mine. You know what to do. I don't know what to tell you what to do. So interesting question.
Beautifully said. Great question, Peter. We have a question over here from Rhonda Austin. And she says, how do you overcome the hesitation to share when you don't have a big healing story or improvement story of your own? I've seen both my daughters and parents have immediate results, but since I'm not seeing a big result yet, it creates doubt on whether the patches work for everyone. So just before you answer that, Onyx, I want to say one thing to this entire community. And if you take nothing else from us today, please listen clearly to this. The universe sees you have 1/1000% of doubt, and it says, oh, she has doubt, and it's going to give you more doubt. It will not give you faith, okay? You have to have that faith. Whatever faith, like Onyx was just saying, it doesn't matter, but you have to have faith and acknowledge that those patches work. If you have a sliver of a doubt, then you will continue to get doubt that this healing will occur for you and for other people, okay? Onyx, take it over there.
So when I built the juice company, we had no science. I mean, there was no science, you guys. We had a acai berry that was, you know, off the antioxidant scale, and that's about it. And we did $1 billion in sales in the first 3.5 years. And I would stand on stage scratching my head, and people would come up there and they would say that they lost weight and their diabetes went away and they're this, that, and the other, because all of a sudden they're filling their bodies with fruits and vegetables. And I'm looking at them all going, well, I didn't lose any weight. And I didn't, you know, my diabetes didn't change. But I did have a little bitty testimonial that was mine, which was that I wasn't waking up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom. And I built my whole business on that little bitty testimonial. And it was small. But I said, look, this is what I have had happened to me. And then this is what's happened to other people that I know. With the patches, I think it is completely different. Like if the juice company was around today, it wouldn't go anywhere. It literally would go and fall on its face. It wouldn't happen. It happened because the timing was right. This company and this product is happening, same thing, you all, the timing was right. Think about, you know, the 10 things that I saw here. Some of it was the functionality of building business, but some of it was also the timing. I knew that stem cells was about to explode. I knew we were in the beginning of a conversation that hadn't fully developed yet, but would develop over time. And we had something that was affordable, and David had all this science. So if you've got hesitation, I agree with Sheila. You have to build a strong sense of belief, but you don't have to start with an entire brick wall. You could start with one brick. And the first brick could be your daughter. And the second brick could be, I think you said, the question said your mother, I think also had a testimony, if I remember correctly. So you had two people in your life. And so that's what I would lead with. Okay. I put this patch on my daughter and I'm absolutely amazed at what happened, you know, blah, 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 blah. And what you're going to find is the 331 system that's been set up, your ability to put people every single day on a testimonial Zoom. And I just want to give a shout out to all of the people who come on and do the nightly, they host 2 people every night that host. Thank you for all you do for this team and this organization. As I said, we all go together. And so what that does for you and for me, because make no mistake, I'm using 3312, you all. I put people on those calls as well. And what that does is it gives third-party validation. So I will text over that little PDF with the, you know, the times and the stuff, and then I'll text it to them. For me, it's 9 o'clock Eastern. So at 15 minutes, you know, 10 to 15 minutes before 9 p.m., I will text it again and say, hey, the testimonial call is about to start in 15 minutes. If you can jump on, jump on. And I let other people do the closing for me. In other words, if you're concerned or hesitant, put them on and let them hear Beamy and Amy talk. Put them on and let them hear Marcy talk. Put them on and let them hear Peter or Dr. Stacy talk, or Kathleen, or any of Wendy, and Laura, all the great people we have on there leading and helping, because what they're going to hear is real testimonials. And it doesn't matter whether you personally have a testimony. I'll take you back to the beginning quote I said from Amy. It's a crime not to share this. The reason it's a crime is because it doesn't matter whether it shifts you. It matters whether or not you offer it to other people and give them an opportunity to shift. That's the crime. See the difference?
Beautiful.
So you've got this. You've already got 2 bricks. You've already got 2 bricks. You may not have a personal brick yet. That's okay. This patch may be working on something inside of you that you don't know anything about yet. Just keep walking, just keep patching, just keep participating in the 331. And just remember, you got 2 bricks. You got more than most people. You're ready to share. Get out there and just start sharing.
And look at Bob. He grew hair.
Gonna be as long as Onyx is soon.
That's right.
Exactly.
Miss Sandy has a question.
I do. Hello, Lady Onyx.
Hi, sweetie pie.
Okay, because we are duplicating here, and one of the things so many of us would love to duplicate is your presence and your poise. So my question to you, because you know you always speak with such certainty and in such an engaging way, and it would be great if we could learn to take that energy to our smaller group calls, right? But what I want to ask you about today is when I last saw you on stage at Nova, and you were like, you got the whole room dancing, that whole thing. I'm so curious, what do you do to psych up before you go into a room and know that you're going to leave that stage, they're all going to be on Team Onyx, you know? What do you do before you get there? Because you lit up the whole place. It was fantastic. I was so proud of you. We were all so proud of you.
Oh, I'm proud of each one of you. And the truth is, I do a 3-minute prayer. And I ask God to shine his light inside of me. And I'm busy shining the outside of my lighthouse as fast as I can, so as much of God's light can shine through me to affect and touch and lift each and every one of you up. That's what I pray for. May I affect as many people positively. And so the way the eloquence and the poise that you're talking about comes, Juliana called me before she went out to Arizona and said, I'm going to go out with all these people, and, I want to know how to do it in Onyx's way. And I said, it's so simple. And she said, what's that? And I said, it's to be present. So when you stand in front of me, if you don't feel my heart, I have failed. Not you, me. Because I'm busy in my head thinking about, my kids need this, and I got to go do that, and I got to get to the gym, and I got to patch 3 people today, and I got to follow up with my 2. I've already followed up with 1, and and I'm not here sitting right now on this Zoom, being fully present with each and every one of you, I'm in my head. I've missed a massive opportunity for peace, for love, and for joy. And so it's hard. I'm not telling you that I'm good at this. I'm telling you I work at it every day. But I try to get in what Damien calls, he calls it the channel, my channel to my higher self, or my channel to God. For me, it's always just been a little prayer. It's the same words. They're all talking the same words. It's all the same thing. It's just in a different box, and all the boxes work. Your box is perfect because it's your box. And so that's what I do. That's all I'm doing. I want to be present to affect you in whatever is possible. Damien would talk about systems and opening up systems. And so remember, called me up and said, all right, you're ready for the billionaire code. Billionaire? Did you say millionaire? No, I said billionaire. Okay. So the system has to be open and ready. Not all of you are open and ready for everything that I have to give. But if I open my full heart, it's all here for you to take that which you're ready to receive and retain and hold, if that makes sense. And so you're working like I'm working at making my container bigger and bigger and bigger. Not because I need to be bigger, but because the more of God's light I can shine through me, the more I can affect people positively. That's my goal. That's my only goal. It's simple. And this is something each and every one of you can do. You can practice, you can participate. It won't be perfect. It will not be perfect. But when you open your heart like that, everybody is like, I want to be next to you. I want to be in this. I want to be a part of it. Who doesn't wake up every day on Tuesday going, yes, it's Tuesday. It's the call of the day. Because I do. Every Tuesday, I get to see everybody. I get to be part of each one of your energy every Tuesday. It's beautiful for me. It's special for me. And so it's the same thing. And that's what you'll generate in every part of your life. In every part of your life. Great question. Thank you. But you guys aren't even asking business questions. This is fascinating. We've had this whole spiritual conversation today. It's been great.
You know, Onyx, it's kind of hard for me to even talk right now because of what you just said. And I think that this is one of the primary reasons I've been drawn to you for the last 2 years since I met you. Because all my life, I just wanted to shine the light of God. And, you know, we literally, the time is now, not tomorrow. It's now in the present. And we have all been brought together as part of this human collective too. I mean, if you look from space right now, we are like this gigantic beacon pouring off where every one of you are sitting. Our light is shining brighter because we are connected together. That's and right. We are pushing that forth. So, wow, she choked me up there. I love you, girl. Oh my.
Thank you for all you do.
The, let's see, question for Onyx. Where can we find information on the technology that David has created or is using to clean toxins from the ocean? A prospect asked if this clears plastic as well.
So the truth is, David is always in his lab tinkering. The other day, he showed me a video of something he's just created that he's very excited with. But he does not, like, I've never been to his lab, you all. I've never seen his lab. He doesn't share that kind of data at all. I know that you guys have heard there's a new product coming out in August. I don't even know what it is. Okay. He doesn't tell me. So he's very private. I know he's not going to share anything about that until he's ready to put it out into the market, either because he's found a way to bring it to market or he's found something worthwhile. He does a lot of, he creates a lot of things that may or may not come to market. Some of them he doesn't bring to market because he doesn't think it's safe, you know, that he could be taken off the planet. And so he doesn't want to be taken off the planet because he's created something, you know, that may create an issue. But as far as I'm concerned, David is just tapping into the collective and pulling down, just like the Wright brothers did. You know, the Wright brothers were weeks before the people in France. It's not like there aren't many other people doing it. Do you remember the book, Eat, Pray, Love? Who's that by? Elizabeth Gilbert. Elizabeth Gilbert did a TED Talk, and it was on, it's not on creativity. I think it's on inspiration. Where does it come from? And she tells a beautiful story in this book about a woman, I think it was in like the 20s in America, who was a daughter of a farmer. And she was a poet. And she tells a story about a poem. She'd be out in the field and she would hear the poem coming from across the field, and she would go running as fast as she could to get back into her farmhouse to get the pencil, because if she didn't get the pencil when the poem arrived, the poem would keep going through the air to the next person that was going to grab the poem. So I'm sure you guys can look it up. It's Elizabeth Gilbert if you want to be inspired, because she talked about Aristotle and how they used to talk about it's your genius. They used to talk about your genius comes from something outside of you. And when Elizabeth Gilbert wrote that book, she sold like 5 million copies or something, which was just unheard of. It's an enormous amount of books to be sold. And of course, it was all on her private life. And then she said, like a one-hit wonder, you're standing there asking yourself, is this it? Is this my genius? Is this all I've got? Is there more? And she said, in Aristotle's time, it was sort of the genius sat on the shelf and you brought it into you and then you put it back out. But in today's time, we're expecting the genius to come from inside. And I think the genius comes from God. I think it comes from the collective. And I think everybody has a different power. Everybody has a different skill. And some people are able to pull it down in which to share with all of us, depending on who it is or what it is, like the Wright brothers did. So life is fascinating, isn't it? It's just beautiful. And I think it's more beautiful for me, I think it's more beautiful when we do it together.
Onyx, I think that one of the things that you mentioned earlier in the beginning of the call is part of what allows that veil, that programming that we've been taught and constructed with our consciousness, is that you're not good enough to do this or that. But the reality and the truth is that every single human being has potential. Which is what the whole potentiality thing with Damien, right, is what our topic is going to be. And so when we have, now that we are at this thinning veil, the potentiality meter is off the chart, because everybody is becoming awakened and opened. And as you said about praying those 3 minutes before, being the light of God, shine through me, just do that every day in your life. Just say, thank you, God, for bringing forth through me my greatest potential, and watch what happens to you. You're going to be surprised, I think. Okay, so.
Correct. And so one of the things that I learned about me is I am completely programmed by the sun. And so I had a little house in this cute little neighborhood where I grew up called Coral Gables. And it's an old Spanish neighborhood. The houses are all 100 years old and there's these big oak trees. It's so charming. It's amazing. But I would stay at that house and I'd be like, I'm getting depressed. I mean, I wasn't really getting depressed, but I was like, I'm not myself. And so one of the things that I realized is I need the sun. I need the light. I am being programmed by that sun. I know it. And so in my meditations, one of the things I do is I invite the sun into my brain, into my pineal gland, and then I invite it into every cell in my body. And so may the sun shine from within me out to everyone that I come in contact with. And consequently, I walk into hot yoga, they're like, nice tan. I'm like, well, I walk on the beach first thing in the morning. So yes, I get a tan, but I'm not actually working on a tan, you guys. It's not what I'm doing, but it is the byproduct of loving the sun as much as I do. But I really do hide under an umbrella. But Christopher's like, Onyx, it's April. If your winter color is this dark, what color are you going to be in the summer? I said, I don't know, Chris, but it looks like the color of happy, doesn't it?
I love that. The color of happy. That's what it is.
Love it.
So I would encourage you, Damien did do, and maybe he will do, I've heard him do once about how we are locked up. We've been programmed even in getting grades. Are we good enough? You know, so we sit back and we're waiting for our grades to see whether we're good enough to make it from the 3rd grade to the 4th grade. You know, whether we've been accepted into this or that. And meanwhile, we're all sovereign individuals. It's not them who decide, it's we who decide. It's really fascinating, all the things that we've been programmed with, all of us. And I'm still working on unpeeling and unpeeling and unpeeling. And I really do often go, man, I can't believe they got me on that one too. How is that possible? How is that possible?
Beautiful. I'm not sure who it is over there. It says Zoom user has her hand up in the car. We're going to go ahead and unmute yourself, doll. We can't hear you. You need to take your mute off.
Hello, Sheila.
Hi.
It's Melanie.
Oh,
Hi, Melanie.
Hi, Onyx. Thank you so much. I just love what you said about the sun. I live in sunny Phoenix, Arizona, and we're in the 70s and 80s this week, and next week the 90s, and just came from the 90s. So I too love the sunshine for my attitude and my whole psyche.
Cool.
So one thing I wanted to share was that this business, I own 3 businesses and a charity, and I run everything around wellness is my focus in my businesses. But this business is very different. And what I noticed over the few months that I've been in it is that this is operated in a very simple format. And when I find myself trying to learn too much too fast, I could get in overwhelm. And what I've discovered is that you just kind of do the 3-3-1. You do the simple parts of the business. You share. If you don't have a testimony, share my testimony or someone's testimony. And the confidence that I really got when I first started was getting on the podcast. I'm on almost every podcast that someone will let me be on. I met Peter and Marcy this weekend. I told Peter, everything that you share with someone, make sure that I know about it. I want to be on it. Yep. And so that's for me built the confidence. And Sheila, you said, you know, you have to have trust and faith in this business. And if we're not there, people like you, Onyx and Peter and Marcy and Sheila and Bob, and those people are further up than me. So I use their knowledge. I use their training. And that's where I get my confidence.
Yep. The 3rd-party knowledge. That's great. Yeah, and that's how this whole business is set up. You know, I always ran from network marketing my whole life. Believe me, I received a cassette tape when I lived in New Zealand about Dead Doctors Don't Lie. And I listened to that cassette tape. I was like, this is very, very appealing. But it's network marketing. Run, run. I don't want to have anything to do with you guys. And the thing that I got that I never understood about network marketing is that it's set up for everybody to want to help you. The difference in this organization is that we're not focused on upline, sideline, cross line, upside down line. None of us care. We're all one team. And that's what I'm so grateful to all of the leaders, because we can all reach, their people can reach, people who are not in Bob's business can reach to Bob and ask Bob questions. And people who are in Bob's business can reach to Beanie and ask Beanie questions. And so that everybody can reach to who is, who appeals to them or who they think is going to help them with their particular prospect, because they heard them talk about this or they heard them talk about that. So it's beautiful what we have set up here. It's a true blessing. And I love the fact that you've been able to clue into the simplicity of this, plug in, jump on those podcasts, get on those podcasts until your confidence grows, because you're going to hear testimony after testimony after testimony. You're going to be like, oh man, there's no way these patches don't work. They absolutely work. This makes complete sense. Your confidence will grow. And then you'll start to do the 3-3-1 if you haven't started yet. And then you will start to build a business. So it's beautiful. I'm glad you've seen how simple it really can be.
And one other thing that really made a difference for me was that when you get someone to do your closing for you. I know someone else said that, but that for me was very, very successful too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Thank you so much, Sheila and Onyx, for everything you do for us. Love you guys.
My pleasure. What a beautiful, beautiful call. Not at all what I expected, but how fun that we got to have a call about spirituality and all these great things that we're all going through, because each one of us is part of the collective. You know, I'm a part of it. Sheila's a part of it. All of us are a part of it. So we move together, and it's beautiful to be able to do that.
Exactly.
So thank you so much, everybody, for participating, for tuning in, for being a part. If you're going to do the Damien thing, if you don't do the Damien thing, I think you're crazy, but that's a whole nother story. But if you are going to do the Damien thing, jump on there and purchase it, so that I'm sure that we'll be able to get him to come back again in the future. But I have found him very powerful. You don't have to do anything when he's on. Just try and stay awake. And even if you fall asleep, it's still okay. You'll be able to listen to it again later. But I think that learning to be fully embodied is a blessing beyond blessings. And that's coming from a girl that's been electric most of her life. So I'm so grateful that I finally was able to receive these frequencies to learn how to do that. So what a great call. Thank you, everyone. Remember, we still got the director promotion going on until the 24th. Thank you for all of the presenters that do our nightly calls, our testimonials. Thank you for Sheila. And just what a great team. What a great group. I'm blessed. I'm honored to be here. Thank you so much.
Sorry, Louise, I'm sorry. We didn't get to your question. You can throw a quick question out if it's really quick. And then I have one thing that I have that Onyx and I talked about a couple of weeks ago to share. And then we're going to close this down. Okay. So what do you got? Sorry.
Thank you, Sheila. Onyx, I don't have a question. I simply wanted to say thank you. A week before the 27th of March, you highlighted how much hitting manager was. And I had no desire before that conversation. And a week later, I made manager on the 27th. And yesterday,
Congratulations.
thank you. And then 2 days ago, I had a tough day. And what do I get in the mail? A certificate from LifeWave and my manager pin. And I cannot tell you how uplifting that was.
Beautiful. Well done. Well done. Now that you've made the rank of manager, your goal is to pay it forward and help other people that you know in your organization or within the overall quantum field. It's okay. We're all here together. Learn to be a manager. That's great. Congratulations. Well done. Well done.
Beautiful. Okay, everyone. So just sit back for a minute. You may know this. You may know this song. Let me get back to it. And where is it?
Ready for the eighth wonder of the world.
Commercial here.
Close my eyes and I can see a world that's waiting up for me, that I call my own. Through the dark, through the door, through where no one's been before, but it feels like home. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say I've lost my mind. I don't care if they call me crazy. We can live in a world that we design. 'Cause every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. Oh, a million dreams for the world we're gonna make. There's a house we can build. Every room inside is filled with things from far away. Special things I compile, each one there to make you smile on a rainy sounds crazy. They can say we've lost our minds. See, I don't care if they call us crazy. Run away to a world that we desire. Gonna make, however big, however small, let me be part of it all. Share your dreams with me. We may be right, we may be wrong, but I wanna bring you along to the world I see, to the world we close our eyes to see. We close our every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. A million dreams for the world we're gonna make. For the world we're gonna make.
Wow. So what part in this world is each one of you going to make? Whose life are you going to make a difference in? Whose heart are you going to touch by being willing to open your own heart, to be present, to just give them space? Because every single one of us is in transition right now, dreaming of a better world. I love you all. Thank you, Sheila. That was absolutely beautiful. Everybody have a beautiful, beautiful day.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
God bless
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you, Sheila.
Thank you.
Thank you.